Welcome to another episode of Dynamics Compass, where we interview the industry experts so you don't have to figure things out the hard way. My guest today is Andrew Good, CEO of Liberty Grove Software, one of only a handful of Microsoft recognized Business Central NAV upgrade service centers worldwide. For more than 2 decades, Andrew has helped companies get real value out of their systems, guiding hundreds of successful upgrades, migrations, and implementations. He's sharp, practical, and yes, he's also known for his weekly motivational quotes that somehow always tie back to ERP. If you've ever wondered whether you're fully using the Business Central features you're already paying for, you'll want to hear what Andrew has to say. And a fun fact for the people that are watching this, Andrew and I have the same surname, just in a different language. Andrew, thanks so much for joining today.
Well, thanks for having me. Great opportunity to have a chat with you and to share some thoughts and some perspectives around Business Central. We will focus on Business Central. Some people are still going to make the journey from Nav to Business Central. We'll touch on that too.
Yeah.
We've got the same surname. I didn't realize in different language, which is kind of fun. And my tie-in is Rory has his orange shirt on, a tribute to Dutch and Dutch royalty. My connection is to English royalty, so having had a chance to meet with Prince Philip and Prince Andrew over the years. So
They came over to your house?
no, but I did get to meet them. I'm a sailor, and so there's a sailing connection there as well.
Yeah.
So had an opportunity to meet them through that, and through a youth program called the Duke of Edinburgh Award, recognizing youth and youth achievements. So I participated in that program, got my Gold Duke of Edinburgh Award, and was presented that award by Prince Philip.
Okay. Wow. That's really cool. Not a lot of people will be able to say that.
So yeah, that was a while ago, and happened to get that award on my 16th birthday, and my parents took me out for dinner. It just happened to be the same place he ended up going for dinner too.
So how many times did you meet him now?
I didn't get to meet him the second time. Didn't see him at dinner time.
Okay. Oh, but that's really cool. Yeah, a cool fun fact to just drop in on a conversation. Really good.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Not a lot of people would, know that little, nugget of background about me. So,
Yeah. Yeah. No, thank you for sharing.
all right.
Um, let's jump in. Maybe a bit of an odd comparison but I'll just shoot the question. 99% of Microsoft Word users are scratching the surface of its capabilities. Is that any different for Business Central?
I would say it's different, but not a whole lot different. I think there are, much like Word, there are a lot of hidden opportunities within Business Central. There are areas that companies maybe don't leverage to the extent that they could. We have a lot of sort of a range of customers, some of whom have, focused on getting the task at hand completed and get Business Central implemented, focus on that, and then they're good because they have other things that, from a business perspective, they want to focus on. And then we have other customers that have uh, subject matter experts, somebody that has innate curiosity about the system and what else it can do for them. And
Yeah.
so they start to dig deeper and deeper and deeper and get more and more out of the system and embed more of Business Central into the day-to-day lives of their organizations.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And how aware are customers about the latest features then of Business Central?
I think there is a moderate awareness, low awareness, not quite sure. I haven't got a really good gauge on that. It's one of the things I do encourage users to focus on. At least have a person in the organization that's looking forward in terms of what's coming up with Business Central, what is evolving. Microsoft has invested a tremendous amount in the product,
Yeah.
and there are a lot of features that people may not be, taking advantage of. As an example, last week I was at a dynamic user group meetup in Montreal I
Hmm.
presented, I'm live on Business Central. Now what?
Yeah.
And a part of that is, what are the new features in the system? How can you take advantage of it? So I walked through some of the features that have been around for a while, and people went, oh, there's an Outlook add-in. So if I'm working in Outlook and I get an inbound email, I can just, go and create a sales order or a sales quote directly from Outlook.
Yeah.
And now with some of the other tools, you can take that even further.
So is it then um, a matter of customers don't know what to do with the latest features, or they're not even aware of the latest features?
It's probably a bit of both. Good question. I think part of it is they're not, all that, they're not necessarily tuned into that because a lot of, lean organizations in particular,
Hmm.
and, we deal with customers in Canada and the United States. In general, the Canadian customers tend to be a little bit leaner in terms of their office staff. So they're
Hmm.
very focused on day to day operations
Yeah.
and not taking a lot of time to look a little deeper at infrastructure or new features and how those new features might benefit them.
Yeah.
So, part of it is just, not having the time and digging into those features. I think that's one of the bigger challenges.
Okay. What would you say is the impact of not being aware?
I think the impact of not being aware, and this, I understand that, in your professional capacity, you are, you're focused on recruitment and, getting more talent in to help organizations. But I think one of the benefits or the missed opportunities is taking away busy work to allow the existing staff to work more effectively and focus on other parts of the business. In other words, they're spending time doing repetitive tasks where Business Central may now have tools to streamline those tasks, whether that be semi-automatic, where three of the five steps are handled by the system, and now you just have to cast your eyes over something and say, yeah, that's reasonable, go ahead and send it. So there are definitely opportunities there. We have one client, in addition to base BC, uses an add-on, but when they went ahead and they were setting up their organization, very, very lean, they wanted the ability to be able to process a lot of accounts payable transactions in a given month. And so they're able to process thousands of transactions with two accounts payable clerks through Business Central base features plus some ISV features, and get really good use out of those employees, and the employees are not buried in
Yeah.
administrivia or I dotting T crossing.
Yeah. Okay. So it's not so much a matter of, like, in terms of impact, not so much a matter of money is going to waste because we're paying for a product that we're barely using. It's more of not having the staff optimize or working in an optimized way that would free them up to do even more for the organization.
that that's very much the way I look at it. Different organizations may look at it differently and say, "Hey, I'm paying a lot," but in relative terms compared to other mid-market ERP solutions, Business Central is a very, represents very good value on a dollar per user per month basis compared to some of the competitors, as well as being a cutting edge product with or a leading product. Maybe cutting edge is not the right word because that has connotations of bleeding edge, and no, Business
Yeah.
Central isn't there.
Yeah.
But a leading product that represents good value. So don't usually have conversations in that particular area.
Yeah.
But going back to my presentation, I want to just go on a brief tangent related to getting the most out of Business Central, which is also encouraging people to review their licensing. Microsoft has commitment periods, might be a 1 year commitment, where you can add licenses throughout the year, but you can't decrement them until you get to an anniversary. So from a dollars and cents perspective, we do encourage people to look at those licenses 6-8 weeks before the renewal period so they can throttle them back, and
Yeah.
then also be very conscious if you're a seasonal business that you're adding monthly users that you where you can add them for 3 months in a row and then take them away. So monthly users with a monthly commit. So you can gear your expenses to keep them in line with your sales activity or your business activity.
Yeah, that's pretty smart. And what would your recommendation be um, for customers being more in the know or the users being more in the know about other features or the latest features?
You've got some tremendous community assets available to you, both through Dynamics communities and their user groups, as well as a dynamic user group. And there's a third user group, WWMSTUG, Worldwide Microsoft Technology User Group, all three of which have a lot of great content to allow people to understand the breadth of options available to them in terms of features,
Hmm.
and then a series of typically in-depth, could be 20 to 30 to 60-minute webinars dealing in and digging into each of those various areas. So one, I'd encourage you to learn that cross section of what the opportunities are, and for those one, two, or five things that are of interest, then you can find some additional sessions to dig into that, learn more about it. And a lot of these things you can configure yourself, or you can tap your partner on the shoulder and say, hey, I'm interested in this. Can we work on it together?
I was That ties in with the next question I had indeed. You say you can tap your partner on the shoulder. Do you think there's anything partners should be doing proactively to help their customers?
One of the things that I think partners can do in a very proactive fashion is make sure that you've got an appropriate cadence with your customers where you're having quarterly, semi-annual, annual calls depending on the customer and the nature of your business, but you're in touch with those customers on a regular basis. It's not just a hi, how are you doing today? It's okay, what's happening with your business. Not only that, but by the way, here's what's happening with the product, and based on what you're doing, these things might be of particular interest to you, but by the way, here's all the things that are available in the product. Like there are people that um, you know don't know about an Outlook add-in, as we mentioned, or the concept of agents, like a sales agent and a purchasing agent, are new in Business Central. People may have seen the icons but haven't even clicked on them yet. So, exposing them to what some of that can help, how those things can help them get more out of the system,
Yeah,
um, would be very useful from a partner perspective to share that kind of information with your customers.
yeah. I I see a lot of value there indeed. If the partner truly knows their customer, then they don't even need to bother their customer when features that aren't relevant to them are released. But just
Mm-hmm.
for the relevant ones, like hey, this one just came out. Um, you should be aware. This is how to apply it. Um, I think there's a lot of value, and you're making yourself very indispensable as a partner. In my mind, obviously, I'm not a partner, I'm not a customer either, but that's how I would view it.
Yes.
That makes a lot of difference. Um, who do you, as the partner, um, who do you get the need to get the buy-in from to when there are there's latest updates or features and you want to make people aware? Do you go straight to the end users or do you have to go to the C-suite first? Like, hey, we think we need some time from your team, and your team will benefit.
I would say it varies across our customer base. Oftentimes, maybe not necessarily the C-suite, but oftentimes it is a key finance person that is our pivotal or primary contact within an organization. So
Yeah,
we'll usually point out to them what's become available and how they might be able to leverage it, and then they can come back and say, okay, that's wonderful, but tomorrow we're starting busy season, so yeah, call me back in 3 months.
yeah,
Or they might go, yes, it's a little bit quieter right now. This is a perfect time to look at this further. And they can provide you the context from their perspective of, does it make sense to be pursuing some of these changes now?
yeah. Okay. What recommendation for any customers that are watching that are just a few years or pretty new on their journey to BC, but they do want to get most out of it? What
Hmm.
recommendation would you make to them?
To get the most out of it, I would, it's sort of a multi-layered approach. One is set up some sort of internal tracking system for requests that you get from your user base. Not just somebody's walking by we use the water cooler example, walking by the water cooler and says, "Hey, by the way, Rory, what about fill in the blank? I think that'd be really good for the business." They walk away, they've handed it to you in their mind,
Yeah.
and you're going, I'm going to go and have my lunch now. So by the time you get back, it doesn't make it sort of vaporizes. I would encourage people to have a little bit more formal system. And again, doesn't matter what the system is, but have a way to capture the request, look at that request, and then evaluate it from a business perspective. And it's not just about dollars. It's about, does this have the potential to simplify my business? I can
Yeah.
simplify a process. Does it have the chance or opportunity to perhaps reduce errors? Does it reduce busy work for the users, which has a cost savings?
Hmm.
But does it also, how does it align with your mission and vision statements? And, oh, maybe this allows you to have better customer satisfaction or take better care of your customers or move you closer to that vision as an organization. So, but have a mechanism to capture that and then have a second mechanism to evaluate and then implement those changes. And a lot of things can be self-implemented these days.
Yeah. No, that's a great suggestion, especially with the small to mid-sized companies. I can see how a lot would be water cooler conversations,
Hmm.
and then you're gonna miss out on requests that come in that aren't that official, but people do want to see improved or tackled.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, I would encourage people to do that. And depending on the nature of your business, if you do have a key user, super user that is passionate about the system, leverage that passion. Give them enough opportunity to do a little bit of research on their own to explore what the new features are and how you might choose to use them moving forward.
Yeah. No, this is great. Um, I don't know if you know this from the top of your head, but you're presenting at Summit in Orlando, I'm
Yes.
assuming. When's your session for anyone who's watching and going as well and wanna wanna ambush you in one of your sessions?
All right. If you want to ambush me in one of my sessions, I actually have to look it up because I don't have the times memorized, but I do have a session on Monday the 20th, Introduction to Business Central Manufacturing.
Oh yeah.
I have a second session, also you're going to notice a theme here, manufacturing. I love manufacturing.
Oh yeah.
I have a session on Tuesday, which is I'm part of a panel on Ask the Experts related to manufacturing. And so if you do have questions, feel free to come by and uh, to one of those
Ambush you there.
sessions. I'll also be at the medic desk as well, so I have a time slot there. Lots of opportunities to talk to me, but as well to other people
Yeah.
to find out more about Business Central. There are a lot of people that are very focused in a particular area and have tremendous amount of knowledge, and Summit is a great place to learn and have them share.
Yeah. No, amazing. Thanks. Yeah. Thanks for all the knowledge sharing you do. Like I see you every day. You're very consistent. You're one of the most consistent posters on LinkedIn and the weekly motivational quote as well. And then all the sessions that you do on a lot of these community events. Thank you for doing that, and thank you for coming on today as well. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, so well, thanks for having me. There's a lot that people can get out of the PC, and sometimes if you're in an older version, you can migrate or upgrade to Business Central, and you can get from just about any version Nav 2009 and on to the cloud quite easily.
Hmm.
Prior to Nav 2009, you've got a couple more hoops to get through, but that's possible as well.
Yeah, anything's on the table basically.
It is, and it's becoming more cost effective as time goes on from an upgrade and migration perspective.
Okay, that's really good. Well, if anyone has more questions, Andrew Good is very easy to find online. Um, thank you again for joining today, Andrew, and I'll see you in Orlando.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Thanks for watching this episode on the Dynamics Compass podcast. We decided to launch this podcast after having spoken to a lot of people in the community who seem to be looking for answers to the same questions. So then we decided, why don't we find experts in the market that have the answers, interview them, and then release that information for free to help everyone progress their Microsoft Dynamics journey. So we hope that you found this video very informative and helpful for you to continue your journey and keep moving forward. If you would like to hear about any other topics, please write to me on LinkedIn, email me, Rory at thegoodtalent.co, and we'd be happy to have a look. We'll look for the experts that have the questions, have the answers. We'll interview them, and it will be freely available to you. Again, thanks so much for watching. Thanks for your support as well, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.